I don't know what to do.
Didn't you just catch him cheating? Why are you staying? He said he's really working hard and he's never worked harder. And you believe that? I don't know what to believe.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
It's hard to explain the person I became when I started living with a narcissist. It's as if I became two different persons. There was the rational part and then the emotional lost part. Would waffle in between both places at the same time and do seemingly crazy things that I couldn't explain to anyone else and felt deeply ashamed about. This is being caused by cognitive dissonance. There's what you're being presented with, and then there's what's really happening. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde complex. And you split along with the other person. You become two people too. Does this sound familiar? If so, it's a coping mechanism. It's how you're surviving such profound dichotomies that you're existing with. Learn more in an upcoming live webinar with Dr. Kristen Milstead called Why Can't I Just Leave?
This is a common experience with cognitive dissonance. Narcissistically abusive partners make us responsible for their well-being. And we feel like we can't leave because they need us. But let me ask you a question. Who's concerned about you? Your partner certainly isn't. Or they wouldn't have put you in this bind. This, unfortunately, is a manipulative ploy to keep you on the hook. You already have enough information. The agony you're in tells you it's time to get out. All of us who get into a toxic relationship make this same grave error. We assume the toxic person's looking for the same things that we are. So we mistaken the things that look similar as if they're the same. Love isn't love to them. They're just looking for compliance. And what you mistaken as trust is really paranoia. And they view your communication efforts as an opportunity. I'm going to let you in on a big secret about why you're having a hard time leaving that narcissistic abusive relationship. You know what you think is love? How they really love you. They say they really love you, at least when they're love bombing or breadcrumbing you, right? But you also feel their loathing. The dichotomy between these two places, the love and loathing, confuses you. So you ignore the loathing part, their disgust and contempt for you, and focus on the love part. But missing that second half, that's what keeps you trapped. You miss the most critical piece. They don't just love you, they love and loathe you. And why would we stay in a relationship with someone who hates us? That's so uncomfortable, we block it out and don't deal with it. And as a result, we stay. I'm going to make a bet with you. Like a fortune teller, I'm going to tell you what happened on your first date. That pathological person that you met, during that first meeting, they told you something that made you feel very sorry for them. They gave you a down-on-their-luck story or something that went terribly wrong in their life. Something that shocked you enough that they would confide this in you that it really tugged at your heartstrings. So did I win that bet? Here's what mine told me. In our first date, he surprised me by telling me he had been sexually abused as a young boy. Think about it. How many men do you know would confide that on a first date with a stranger? I felt bad for him, yet trusted at the same time. Somehow he knew that would really get to me, that would tug at me in such a way that I would be profoundly moved. Do you want to know why it's hard for abuse victims to leave? Here's some straight talk as an abuse survivor. Those that abuse us confide in us. They share a part of themselves that is broken and very vulnerable. It tugs powerfully at us and makes us feel super connected, but also very sympathetic. And it also justifies what they do. They do these awful things because they're broken, because of this wounded part of them, and gives us the belief that if we could heal that part, then they would become a wonderful person, that we would get all the best parts of them. So we stay and hope and put up with the abuse. Did you know that there are 7 ways to leave a narcissistically abusive relationship? Not all ways are equally healthy, and not all of them are safe. It's important that you take in consideration the particulars of your partner, as well as what works best for you. If you'd like to learn more about these 7 ways, be sure to like and follow for more. Here's some straight talk about why it's hard to leave a narcissist. No matter how you leave or how you do it, they're going to make sure that whatever happens, there is mutual mass destruction. Are you ready to end a narcissistic abusive relationship? There are 7 different ways of leaving.
Please be aware, not all of them are safe or equally feasible in your situation. You could just end it by walking away or disappearing. Get outsiders' help with assistance, like going to a shelter. Jumping into a new relationship is another form of outsider assistance, but in an unhealthy way. Maybe some big life event might happen, and you can use that as a way to get out. Deliberately do something that you know is a relationship-ending event, or it happens and you don't even expect it to happen, so it's an involuntary discard. None of these are going to be easy. Only you know your situation and you know your partner, so you also know which method is most likely to be the safest. Do you know why you're not going to get closure leaving that toxic relationship? Because you never met a real person. It's hard to get closure from a ghost. Are you considering leaving a toxic relationship? Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed for the method that you're using as a way to get out. No one knows what's going on the inside of that relationship like you do. And no one knows what your partner is capable of in the way that you do. Whatever way it takes to get out is the way that it takes. There's no need for an embarrassment for you keeping yourself safe. There was a mind-blowing moment as my relationship with a malignant narcissist came to an end. He sent me a note and said, "Well, I hope you know how much I loved you." To which I responded, "Loved me? Well, you didn't love me." And he responded back and said, "Not even in the beginning? You didn't feel my love in the beginning? That crushes me." Now, mind you, this is a man who cheated the entire length of our relationship, who had also, as we sat signing the divorce papers, threatened to kill me and probably had been feeding me arsenic, at least some heavy metal poisoning, for over a year. In fact, one of his other ex-wives thought he'd been poisoning her as well. He loved me? One of the things I find very shocking about narcissists is the degree that they delude not only everyone around them, but themselves as well. Here are 4 reasons why I think narcissists claim that they loved us, even when it's obvious that they didn't. And I saved the saddest one for last. It upholds the good guy, wonderful woman narrative. It's a form of gaslighting to continue to create confusion. It's an attempt to project the blame for the relationship's failure on you, not on them. And the saddest reason? Because narcissists lie to themselves first before they lie to anyone else. One of the hallmark characteristics of narcissistic abuse is cognitive dissonance. We sense something's wrong about the relationship, but we can't quite identify what it is or make a good decision about it. So we're left in a state of indecisiveness and confusion. Victims of narcissistic abuse often call it agonizing. I've created a survey assessing cognitive dissonance, and I would love your help. If you're interested, please DM me over on Instagram and let me know you'd like to participate, and I will send it to you, and then we can talk about whether or not the scoring agrees with your experience. I had never felt more alone during the years that I'd spent in the abusive relationship. Shame and fear cut me off from the rest of the world and made it difficult to share what was going on. Are you going through something similar? If so, then you're going to want to read my book, Love You More, The Harrowing Tales of Lies, Sex Addiction, and Double Cross. It's a true story of what happened to me. You'll discover that you're not alone, and that you'll find out also what it took for me to finally escape. You can buy the book at all the major online stores, or buy it directly from me and get a discount. For info on where to get your copy, please see the link in my bio. Are you in a narcissistically abusive relationship and struggling to leave? Maybe you feel like you're in an impossible situation. I know I sure felt that way for a long time. I struggled to get out. I was so paralyzed. Then this is an event you're not going to want to miss. It's a live webinar on August 18th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Dr. Kristen Milstead. She's the author of Why Can't I Just Leave? A Guide to Waking Up and Walking Out of Pathological Love Relationships. During this interview, we're going to talk about things like, how does a trauma bond start? How do we break it? What is cognitive dissonance and why does it cause such problems? Why do we find it so difficult to leave? This is going to be an incredible evening that you don't want to miss. Be sure to get your tickets in the show notes in the link below.